How do cell phones transfer energy? By Haley Anderson and Zini Bang and Stephanie Plone. Hour 5. Cell phones, also known as mobile phones, are handheld phones with built-in antennas that can be carried from place to place. They are radioactive devices that transfer energy by electromagnetic waves. How do cell phones work? When you talk into your cell phone receiver, it registers your voice and converts the sound into radio waves. These waves travel through the air until they reach your receiver, which is usually found at a base station. This station will then send your call through a telephone network until it contacts the person you wish to speak with. Similarly, when someone places a call to your cell phone, the signal travels through the telephone network until it reaches a station near you. The station sends the radio waves out into the neighboring area. These radio waves are then picked up by your cell phone and converted into the sound of a human voice. The social impact of cell phones is mainly keeping in touch with our family and friends easier. Adults use cell phones to communicate with people from their work. Instead of actually being in a meeting at their work building, you can be on a conference call on your cell phone while at the grocery store. Teenagers and kids use their cell phones to communicate with the parents so they know that their kids are safe at all times. Teens also use it to talk with their friends instead of having to go over to the house to do so. The economical impact of cell phones is very great worldwide. There are many different kinds of cell phone carriers in the U.S. You have anything from Verizon to AT&T and Sprint. When buying a cell phone, you have to get a data package along with it. Usually you are on a 2-year contract with the company, which means you will stay with them, and you have to pay a certain amount of money each month to keep your cell phone on and working. Cell phones now have more things added onto them, like internet, receiving picture mail, and emailing. Each of those accessories costs an additional amount of money added onto the amount you have to pay to just keep the cell phone on and working. Every 2 years you can get an upgrade, which means you can get a new phone for a cheaper amount than the original price. The way this affects the environment is that if it's thrown away improperly, cell phones can end up in landfills because people don't know how hazardous their cell phones are. If they are not disposed properly, cell phones can contain arsenic, cadmium, copper, and lead. Metal from cell phones can leak into the environment from corrosion. The difference between cell phones and house phones would be that cell phones operate with radio frequency, which is a form of electromagnetic energy, and home phones are plugged into a telephone jack and wired to local telephone services. Cell phones work on a system of separate zones called cells. Each cell has its own base station that receives and emits radio waves. When a call is made, a signal is sent from the cell antenna to the cell's base station. The station then sends the phone to an available radio frequency channel, and then transfers the call to a local telephone carrier or another cell phone. Basically, signals are transmitted back and forth to the base station at the speed of light, which is 3 times 10 to the 8th power. Cell phones are a vast improvement over the telecommunications technologies of the past, and are daily becoming a fixture of modern life. As always, communication is vital, and cell phones will help you to better communicate with the key people in your life. Using a cell phone is one of the first steps you must take to participate effectively in the emerging global economy. Newer cell phones these days have many more options and features than ones in the past. Things like email, texting, video chat, sending pictures, and unlimited calling minutes. Having your cell phone with you wherever you go is a major benefit, whereas your home phone you can only use at home. Some negative benefits for cell phones are the fact that the battery can die within a day if you do not have your charger on you, and your phone dies and you have no way of communicating with people. Also, if there is a major storm like tornadoes or blizzards that affect your community, cell phone towers are usually the first to shut down and lose power. If you are to lose power, you can no longer use your house phone, but you can use your cell phone as long as you have service. If the cell phone towers are to go out, you can rely on your home phone to be working unless the power is to go out. Another limitation is that if you are to drop your phone on metal or a concrete surface, this usually ends in the cell phone breaking or not working in some sort of way that you would need to communicate. You can always order a new cell phone in the mail, but that always takes 5 to 7 business days. Cell phone radio waves have a frequency of 850 to 1900 megahertz, or 850 times 10 to the 6th power to 1900 times 10 to the 6th power hertz. Cell phone radio waves are transverse waves, meaning that individual particle motion is up and down and the overall wave motion is horizontal. Cell phones first became available in the U.S. in the 1990s. The first cell phones were mainly just for calling. They were big black phones that had a big antenna on the top of it. Over the years, cell phones have greatly improved. Now cell phones are touchscreens, have GPS built in, and full keyboards. Basically, it's a handheld computer. The method used today we prefer much more than that used in the past. With today's cell phones, they're smaller, lighter, and have more features available. Things we would do to make it better would be to have lower prices, everyone to have the same charger so it's easier to borrow and share if we have different carriers and different phones.